So let's talk about you for a second because it's relevant to what we're talking about. Because I want to talk about storytelling, and hopefully young people watching this and convince them that they don't have to be quoting Murray Rothbard all the time. There's
Right.
nothing wrong with quoting Murray Rothbard, but there's more to it than that. But you're a writing professor. Give us a little bit of your other job.
Right. So I teach English literature and composition. I've taught at Rollins College in Florida. I taught for 12 years at Sing Sing Correctional Facility in New York, and now I'm teaching at Chapman University, and it's mostly a poetry class. But I broaden it because it satisfies their artistic inquiry component. That's a general ed requirement. So I bring in film and visual arts and drama as well as poetry when we do that, because it's all about critical thinking and it's all about the different tools that we use for expression. I think film and poetry have a lot more in common than poetry and novels or film and novels, because both use these tools to create really dense meaning through symbolism, through emotion. By touching the emotion, then you feel the story. So I do bring a lot of that in. So I teach composition and writing, but mostly I want them to tell a story, even in an essay. Even when you're writing an essay that's not fiction, if you tell a personal story, now I get it. Now I understand where you're coming from, because I can feel your passion, I can feel your sorrow, I can feel your joy, and that's part of the story.
So you came at your libertarianism through literature. Is that fair to say?
No. My husband and I met when I was 18 years old and he was 24, and he was finishing up his master's degree and I was just starting. I was a freshman, and I had grown up kind of a social democrat. My parents didn't talk about politics very much, but they were really of the opinion that the government ought to take care of everything, and so I thought it could too. I just thought the government could just print money and take care of everything.
So does our current government, by the way.
I know. And we were out on our first date, and he started talking to me about economic principles, because he's like you know, that's what everything is, economic principles. And when he explained the free market to me, it just made perfect sense, because I was motivated by money. I worked so that I could gain money, and I saved so I could get things in the future. I was a little budding capitalist. I just didn't know it. And the free market made such perfect sense to me. And he was probably the smartest man I'd ever dated and the most intellectually curious person. And so I quit school and married him. So we've been together ever since, and we've been writing books and articles together ever since. We're a lot like you and Terry in that we have this really strong partnership that almost transcends the marriage, because we're so intellectually in tune with each other. We don't agree on everything. In fact, he often says, why would anyone go to a movie when they could come hear a lecture? And I say, why would anyone go to a lecture when they could come see a movie? But in the end, we both are promoting the same ideas of liberty.